Let's dive into this. Today, we're tackling what is basically the holy grail of personal finance, right? Passive income. You know the drill. You've probably seen 1,000 internet gurus promising that you can just click a button and literally watch your bank account grow while you sit on a beach. But today in this explainer, we're doing a serious reality check on the absolute best passive income ideas to actually make money in 2026. We're going to look at the hard data and expert insights from Investopedia to really demystify what it actually takes to make extra money outside of your day job. So, here's the million-dollar question. Can you really make money while you sleep in 2026? Well, it's an incredibly alluring internet myth, isn't it? The whole idea of completely effortless wealth. But I'm going to frame it for you right now as a dream that requires a massive, heavy dose of upfront reality. Look, there is absolutely no such thing as free money from day one. None. To really wrap our heads around this, let's look at the official Investopedia definition. They define passive income as money earned from sources other than a traditional job, requiring little time or effort after the initial investment of time, money, or labor. Now, you really got to pay attention to that crucial caveat at the end. These ventures literally always require initial effort or capital before you can just sit back and collect passively. You have to build the engine before the car can drive itself.
All right, so here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to start with tangibles and real estate, then move into digital and creative income, followed by retail and vending machines. After that, we absolutely have to dive into the IRS rules because, keeping your money actually matters. And then we'll wrap the whole thing up with the real risks and our final takeaways.
Let's move to Section 1, Tangibles and Real Estate, and see how this builds into maximizing our physical assets. So think about this number. $500 to $2,000. If you happen to have land in sun-rich states, places like Louisiana, Texas, or California, utility companies might actually pay you anywhere from $500 to $2,000 per acre every single year. And that is just to lease your land for large-scale solar farm installations. Now, let's break down the reality of solar farm leasing. The advantages are honestly incredible when it comes to stability. We are talking about 25-plus year lease terms. It requires very minimal maintenance for you as the landowner, and contracts often include escalator clauses, which is fantastic because it protects you against inflation. But here's the reality check. You usually need a really substantial amount of acreage to make it work. Plus, you have to navigate incredibly strict local zoning and land use regulations, which means dealing with an absolute mountain of red tape. So it's a huge commitment, but it's highly lucrative if you've got the right land. But hey, what if you don't have a massive farm? You can actually still pull in $200 to $500 a month by utilizing premium space sharing right inside your own home. And no, I'm not just talking about throwing some cardboard boxes up in a dusty attic. I mean offering high-end, climate-controlled storage. Premium space sharing means you're storing things like fine wine for collectors, maybe classic cars, or even expensive designer clothing. The big advantage here is that this yields way higher returns than just basic storage. Plus, you generally get long-term, highly respectful clients because, they care deeply about their valuables. It is a fantastic way to monetize unused home space. However, it definitely requires some upfront investments. You're going to have to upgrade your climate control, add some serious security monitoring, and definitely get specialized insurance to cover all those highly expensive items. Okay, moving on to Section 2, Digital and Creative Income, where we talk about monetizing the internet and AI. So, shifting from physical spaces to the digital world, creating AI-backed tools and apps can bring in roughly $5 to $100 in monthly subscription revenue per single user. The world of AI apps, like developing automated language learning tools or quick tutoring apps, is incredibly lucrative right now. The advantages are just huge. You get global distribution right through the app stores, you're automating tasks for your users, and you create highly scalable, recurring revenue. You literally write the code once, and 1 million people can download it. But the market is incredibly saturated. Thousands of apps are releasing every single day. You also rely heavily on having access to high-quality data, and mobile trends, they shift faster than almost any other industry out there. You really, really need to solve a highly specific problem to actually stand out here. Now, if you pivot over to content creation, you can expect ad revenue and sponsorships to bring in roughly $1 to $5 per 1,000 views on YouTube. This is especially true when you start diving into YouTube Shorts and long-form videos. YouTube content is obviously a massive draw. You get global reach, it's essentially free to start with just the camera on your phone, and you can monetize your passions like travel or cooking, which easily replaces old-school, labor-intensive blogging. But do you remember that definition of passive income requiring upfront effort? This is the prime example.
It takes significant, sometimes monumental time to build a profitable audience. You are entirely at the mercy of highly unpredictable, ever-changing search algorithms, which, let's be honest, can feel like a full-time job just trying to decode. The income really only becomes passive after months or even years of active grinding.
All right, Section 3. Retail and vending machines. This is all about putting physical sales on autopilot. Bridging the gap between digital scalability and tangible products, an e-commerce subscription box can generate somewhere between $20 to $100 a month per subscriber. Think along the lines of curated beauty products, specialty foods, or niche hobby kits.
So the crucial point is that the trade-offs here are actually huge. With subscription boxes, you get that awesome, predictable, recurring revenue, but you face the relentless, never-ending grind of sourcing new and exciting products every single month so people don't cancel their subscriptions. And vending machines, well, they have very low daily maintenance and they are extremely easy to scale up. But your success is entirely dependent on securing prime real estate. You literally need massive foot traffic to make a high-end CBD or tech accessory vending machine profitable.
Let's shift gears a bit to Section 4, IRS rules and reality, because protecting your profits is absolutely crucial.
Now, we really need a reality check on how the government views all these side hustles you're building. The IRS actually distinguishes between three very specific types of income. First is active. This is your day job, earned from direct effort or labor. Then there's passive. This is strictly net rental income or a business where you do not materially participate. And third is portfolio. These are returns from investing in securities like interest, dividends, and capital gains. A lot of people think buying an index fund is passive income. Colloquially, sure it is. But to the IRS, that is technically portfolio income. And why does this distinction actually matter? Because passive losses can only be deducted against passive gains. It's a huge deal.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how the IRS tests this. They use the material participation test. If you dedicate more than 500 hours a year to that side hustle, the IRS says it's active. If you do substantially all the work, it's active. If you do 100 hours and literally no one else does more than you, it's active. It's only truly passive if you essentially just provide the capital. It's like handing 500 grand to a candy store and doing zero operational work. If you manage the day-to-day operations of your vending machine route or your Airbnb, you might actually lose the specific tax deductions of passive income. So you've absolutely got to track your hours carefully.
Which brings us to Section 5, risks, costs, and takeaways. These are our final words of wisdom.
Before you jump headfirst into any of these ventures, I want you to consider this warning from Margarita Chang, the CEO of Blue Ocean Global Wealth, which we sourced directly from the Investopedia research. She says, people often underestimate the initial costs of a passive income opportunity and, as a consequence, may not have adequate liquidity. Some red flags include sales pitches that sound too good to be true, as well as act now before this opportunity runs out. Guys, this is the voice of reason speaking out against those crazy internet get-rich-quick scams. Real estate has hidden property taxes, apps have server costs. Please don't let false urgency cloud your financial judgment.
So here is the explainer bottom line. Passive income is absolutely not free money. Whether you lease out a wind farm or sell stock photos online, successful, high returns demand high upfront time, money, or land. You absolutely must protect yourself by understanding those strict IRS definitions we just covered so you can maximize your tax deductions. Stay far, far away from those urgent, act now sales pitches you see all over social media. Instead, focus on leveraging automation and existing platforms to intelligently scale your efforts over time. The real secret lies in initial strategizing and occasional careful monitoring.
We have covered a ton of ground today. Everything from solar farms to YouTube shorts, right down to the IRS material participation test. So, I'm going to leave you with this one question. Which passive income stream will you build first? Pick one, do your homework, put in that upfront effort, and start building your financial future today.